Cardiff v Leeds FA Cup 1972. Leeds Service Crew suffer one of their worst ever days at Cardiff's Ninian Park. 2,000 Leeds get cornered, then attacked from all sides inside the ground. Outside the ground, it doesn't get much better. We let Leeds fan Dave tell his story. I've said this many times, the Leeds firm away from home in the early 70s could be very hit and miss. We'd go places like Manchester and Liverpool and give a good account of ourselves, then go to places like Wolves and Cardiff and get battered. At home we were simply awesome. Nobody relished a visit to Elland Road. Ask any of the top firms. But this Cardiff match was one of our worst, along with the Wolves one 4 years later. About 2,000 of us went to Cardiff. It was fighting all day, starting early in the morning. We were in the town centre about 300 strong when Cardiff turned up, and we held firm from attacks by them. We decided to go to the ground en masse, but kept getting ambushed by the Cardiff lot, eventually getting to the ground for the 12 o'clock kickoff. It was rammed and we were in this big end called the Bob Bank with a thin line of police between us and them. Some of their lot ran onto the pitch and unfurled a Welsh flag, so some of ours ran on to confront them and unfurl an English flag. Songs of "We Hate the English" boomed around the old ground as we were forced into a corner of the stand by constant Cardiff attacks. Most of our firm exited the ground during the match, but we stayed until the end, still being attacked by Cardiff, with a small police line trying to protect us. After the match, we got battered by Cardiff. They ran at us with along the railway line with ripped-up fencing and smashed us with them. There were police there, but they just watched the onslaught. Even the lads on the coaches got surrounded and attacked before the old Bill got their act together and allowed them back on the coaches. Our train journey home was a very quiet one, with questions still to be asked about how we got such a battering. Cardiff fan Danny told us, "I usually stood behind the goal in the grand end. I arrived 2 hours early to see the stadium was practically full already. Myself and my mates were forced to stand on the Bob Bank right on the corner to the grand end. To my left on the grand end corner were thousands of Cardiff fans taunting Leeds fans who were just behind me. The Leeds fans had just made their way from the back of the Bob Bank to confront the Cardiff horde. They were well outnumbered. All Leeds could do was sing United, United while we taunted them with Colchester, Colchester. The season before, Leeds got knocked out by Colchester 3-2 and was recorded the biggest shock in FA Cup history then. All of a sudden, the Cardiff broke rank and it was like watching an ant army coming down a hill. Thousands ran past us and up to the Leeds who made their exit. We ended up being forced to watch the game from the halfway line. While waiting for the game to start, a number of Leeds fans made their way onto the pitch. Fair play to them, they were doing a good job mocking us. These days, away fans consider it a victory by hiding away in a pub miles from the stadium. These Leeds fans were right in our faces on the pitch. This resulted in a reaction from us. A couple of our lads made a beeline for a couple of isolated Leeds. They had a long city scarf that they both carried. They wrapped the scarf around one of the Leeds lads and forced him into his mate. Then fisticuffs started where everyone started cheering on the city lads. The police, being the snails they were in those days, stepped in and escorted the lads across the pitch and into the tunnel. That was the best entertainment of the day. Considering Leeds brought a big contingent, probably about 2,000, nearly all of them must have been escorted out of the ground. Leeds won the game 2-0, and when they scored you would have heard a pin drop. If you listen to the YouTube video, you can just about hear Leeds fans cheering, but these were scarfers, not their firm. 50,000 were in that crowd. The following week it was back down to 10k and I was back in my usual spot. We thank Dave and Danny for their recollections. It seems like Leeds suffered quite a bit at Ninian Park, but Cardiff wasn't a place for faint hearts, that's for sure. Please subscribe for notifications of future videos and to help our channel grow.